TMCnet at NextCom 2008.
Good afternoon. Welcome again. It's Erik Linask coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada from NextCom 2008. And it's my pleasure now to be joined by Veraz Networks Vice President of Marketing, Dawn Hogh. Welcome, Dawn.
Thank you, Erik.
Good to see you again.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
So Veraz recently announced its multimedia generation networks, right? MGN, I think you call it.
Yeah.
What is MGN, and I guess the question is, how is it different from NGN?
Good question. So a multimedia generation network is a network that enables service providers to offer differentiated multimedia services and compete against over-the-top providers and extend and complement third-party partners that might be a part of their network. And why it's important or what makes it unique or different than NGN is it's really a journey to get there. So when NGN or IMS, a lot of carriers got excited about it and then went, wait a minute, I can't really forklift my network and rip everything out and achieve that vision. But it's still a good vision, but what's really needed is a way to provide service providers a path to get there without having to forklift the network or to throw away initial investment. So it really gives you that incremental way to achieve a multimedia generation network and what makes business case sense.
Is MGN a term, a name that's unique to Veraz?
It is. It is. We think it was important to be able to describe the vision for the network, the architecture that implements it, and ultimately what it's all about, which is multimedia services.
There hasn't been an awful lot of hype around IMS lately. It seems to sort of die down a little bit, but
Right.
certainly in my discussions today, it's apparently very obviously still out there. Where does IMS fit in with Veraz's vision?
It's very important. When you look at the multimedia generation network, the architecture is built on IMS and what IMS stands for, because it is very important. I think what happened was when IMS came out, there was a lot of hype. Everyone was going to go to it tomorrow, and it's almost become a dirty word now because it didn't live up to its promise. When in reality, nobody is going to forklift a network. It's an evolution for an existing network, and IMS is very important, and the architecture is important, and it is part of the multimedia generation network.
That seems to be a sort of initially a misperception or misconception that providers could actually forklift their entire networks.
You know, it would be really nice if that happened. I've been waiting a long time in my career for that to happen. You know, and I haven't seen it yet, and I still have that fantasy, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
What are some of the challenges, though, that are facing providers as they are looking to move to multimedia generation networks?
I think it's really, how do you keep paying the bills with the services that you have today, while at the same time be able to reduce your costs and offer new services? So you do need to change your network and evolve it to an IP network. That is where the cost structure needs to be to lower operational and CapEx costs. But there's a way to do it incrementally so that you don't disrupt those existing services. You continue to offer them. You put in what we call the brain or the control layer that gives you that IP base. And then as it makes business case sense, offer new services easily off that common platform that you've now got in place. So I think it's how do you incrementally move there without throwing away existing investment and without disrupting services and to keep paying the bills.
Great. In terms of comparing it to the rest of the industry, how do you differentiate Veraz's vision and I guess vision for the MGN compared to the rest of the industry?
I think it's really two main things. The first is we have a layered architecture, and that's what the MGN is about. It's really about 4 different layers: a media layer, a control layer, a service delivery layer, and then a management layer. And our architecture is such that you can really mix and match the pieces of that depending on what the service provider need is. So if they've got media devices in place, you put the control layer in, it interoperates with that. So it's that piece part approach or layered approach that you're able to pick and choose what is the right solution for the customer. And it's very separable, very interoperable. I think that's the first piece. And the second piece is the easy customization or adaptation of our network, of our architecture. We have open APIs. It's very easy for us to integrate third-party applications or other vendors into the network and make it work quickly and easily for the operator.
Do you have it out there in use with customers?
Absolutely. We've got a couple different examples. One is a service provider, excuse me, in Europe who actually over the course of 4 years went from a legacy network, purely TDM, to a full multimedia generation network. And it was incremental steps with what made sense at what point in time. That's been up and running. Over 1 million soft client users in service today. Another network, OneMax in the Dominican Republic, was a greenfield build. So they wanted to go in and challenge the incumbent offering data services. They put an IMS over WiMAX infrastructure in place, and now they're serving their customers with that. So kind of two extremes of the same solution.
Fantastic. And what lies ahead for Veraz?
I think continuing to come up with tools for service providers to get to that multimedia generation network. More applications, more services that they can offer, more ways to give them the tools to decrease their OpEx and increase their time to revenue.
Fantastic. We've been talking about multimedia generation networks with Veraz Networks VP of Marketing, Hogh. Thanks again, Dawn, for joining us. It was great seeing you again.
Thank you very much, Erik.